Costa does not respect it by the looks of it. He's just shaking his head in disappointment. But yeah, we're going to bring in our lovely casters, Joss, and our very good friend Costa, who's joining us here today in the studio. And
Oh, wow.
Very good friend.
Wow.
Hang on a second here.
Are you okay, Zoe?
Yeah,
Great to have you here,
Where's the
guys.
real
Fantastic.
Zoe?
I was all excited. Like when I heard that they're going to be casting today, I was like, I can't wait to see Costa again.
He's great. He's just he's
So
a
much
treasure.
sarcasm.
Yeah.
I love it.
What? I don't know what you're
The
talking about.
punchline's coming. I'm just waiting for the nuclear bomb to ruin our friendship even further. But yes, I'm with you guys. This is going to be a clean 3-0 for the Los Angeles Gladiators. At least it should be, Jack.
Should we get into this one? Shall we? I mean, come on, man. Are the Gladiators going to go easy? Probably not.
No,
A clean
they won't.
3-0 would be nice. Of course, Mid-Season Madness is just around the corner, Scott. We're like a couple of weeks away. It's kind of crazy, honestly. And it's going to feel good for the Gladiators to get a nice little win here. Just wrap it up, get to lunch, and then concentrate on the matches coming up. Because they're 2-2 in the standings currently. I mean, Glad's, you know, middle of the pack right now. Very strange to see.
There's a lot of context that comes with that 2-2 from the Gladiators as well, though. They've played and beaten the Toronto Defiant. They also beat the Florida Mayhem in that Map 5 banger. Then their other two losses were to the Houston Outlaws and the Atlanta Reign. So they've had a hard schedule. So that is why they are 2-2, yet we're still hyping this team up to such a high degree. The Gladiators look to be a strong team this season.
I mean, get the hard matches out the way first, please, and then we can have some easier ones later.
Then you can play Vegas later, right?
Yeah, dude, I just want Vegas to get a win. Just one win this season. One win. I'm excited for it. Might not be today, but, you know, later down the line, a bit of improvement, a bit of a lot of other things. But it will be exciting when they do get their first win. I've got my fingers crossed for them, but potentially not today. All right, let's jump into it. First map, Ilios. First round?
The stage is being set.
Oh, yeah.
And we've been seeing this look from the Gladiators a lot recently where they have Kepster come in, he's playing the hit scan for the most part, and Yaki's having that flexibility, able to play Tracer, also at a very high level, can play the Sombra, can play the Genji. We were questioning how Kepster and Yaki were going to come together, but it seems quite seamless so far this season.
Yeah, seems pretty seamless. Seems pretty seamless. I would love to see Kev on the Echo would be quite exciting, actually. A little less Tracer. I really like Echo on this map. There's so many places you can kind of hide this high ground on the lower of your screen or even the upper, like, round cage. It's pretty easy to get a lot of value. And then diving on someone too with the Yaki on Tracer is also fantastic. And what's crazy about the Gladiators, Scott, with the roster changes coming into this season was, wow, do they have Tracer players? There is a lot of Tracer talent on the team. So it gives Kesda time to flex off. They just want to have Yaki on Perma Tracer.
If worst comes to worst, they can also put Dante on Tracer as well. You know, they got a wealth of options.
I want to see it.
Oh, wow.
That's a burst. That's a lot of burst.
That's an early lamp. Yeah.
To use that lamp. Yes, sir. Early anti-nade from Bubble, though. But first blood, actually, going Eternal's way as they take down Dante. Even his fresh new haircut can't save him now.
Yeah, Dante with black hair, currently 0-1 in the Overwatch League. We'll have to track that one before and after he gets black hair.
Oh my, Bubble! Even Bubble kind of like, okay, I got that kill, obviously. The Storm Arrows, very rarely do you see that kill. Dove, all right, cleaning up. Okay, Eternal, first fight win.
Winnable, winnable. They are sticking to the Ramatra hero and style and composition of playing. I think this is the smart idea. If you're the Vegas Eternal, you're not going to be able to match the Gladiators playing these Winston dive compositions. So just stick to what you're good at. Malfoy on that Hanzo had some good moments. Dove's Tracer has been impressing. As much as Ramatra in this style isn't good on well, you're better off playing something that you're comfortable on rather than something that fits the meta.
Yeah, Dove has looked good in the majority of their games. A bright spot for the Eternal. He's got Babel in his sights. The pulse bomb to him. Oh, he kind of looked around, looked for Babel, and yeah, he saw his tank explode into a million pieces halfway across the map. There's the flip. No one to really pressure the point now. Dove, no recall, no chance, as Astro cleans him.
A question of how Vulcan dies to a pulse bomb when you have a Kiriko and a Baptiste on your team.
Two forms of immunity there.
You have two forms of immunity, neither one of them able to save Vulcan, and that's just a free team fight there for the Gladiators with Yaki opening it up with the pulse bomb. As the flip does come through, but now ultimates are starting to come up.
Oh, Lucamino in trouble. Don't get one clip challenge. He's behind the window that he laid down for himself, but an nano boost onto Dante will surge them forward. However, Dove's still cleaning up. I mean, look, this guy can attack and he can defend. Teleport away, rack attack trying to get out of the grasp of Dante, who's taking ever so much damage. Has to retreat to his backline to pop himself all the way up as Primal Rage fades away. And now a rush onto the point to try and get another secure. Dub with a pulse bomb. He's still got it. He's had it for the majority of this game already, but Yaki from the well appearing like the girl from the ring to take down Malfoy. There's the stick from Dove and takes down Dante. The flip is going to come through in just a moment for the Eternal here, Scott.
Yeah, but the Gladiators, Funny Astro has the sound barrier and uses it and catches the pulls the blade.
There's the blade, Lucamino, Lamp goes down, a free dash for Kevster, but Vulcan actually going on the defensive with the Annihilation. And they are going to find the flip, Scott. Dove opening these ones up with pulse bombs, that's what you want to see. Dove does end up going down, so now they've lost that frontline pressure. And now it's up to Malfoy, who's already managed to teleport away on the Sombra.
Oh, Rack Attack, important kill there onto Yaki. All of a sudden, if you're the Gladiators, you need to think about getting out of this team fight because you're not going to be able to match the Vegas Eternal right now on the point, and they're currently very heavily in the lead right now, Jack, but they're out of ultimates. Babel has that nano boost that's going to go onto Dante, you would assume, allow him to go aggressive.
Rack Attack might just go down instantly. That's Suzu himself. Yeah, there you go. Nice re-engage. Kevs to put up the little deflect. There was a kunai thrown back towards his face. It had to get healed by Lucamino. Should be quite an easy fight. Now for the Glads, they do find a recap. This is a lot of flips.
Yeah,
a lot of facts.
Wow, the Gladiators getting very aggressive.
I like that.
Got to decide better of it. Fall back just a little bit. Both teams at 80%. On a knife's edge, it could go either way as ultimates are starting to come up to Eternal. For me, the thing that's going to win Vegas this round is going to be Malfoy's EMP. If he can get to that one, close out a team fight with it, especially with a great opening from Rack Attack, they could win well.
I mean, Dove and Kevs is dead. Both DPS down for the Gladiators. A 3-on-5. Dove goes in, tries to find the one clip, doesn't get it, but doesn't matter. The pressure was out there, and that will be the flip. Eternal looking good. Final fight now with an EMP, pulse bomb, and a window, even a rush coming up for Rack Attack.
Yeah, Gladiators just lost that one for almost free with just some great pickups, and now it has to be Dante who goes hero mode with this Primal Rage.
Yeah, Dove, what do you got for me? He's got that pulse still. Oh, forced to recall super early, and he's low too. He has to get back to the rest of his team. EMP on Dante, and no follow-up at all. Easily pops that Primal Rage, but I don't think he even needed it, to be fair, as Lucamino is sent to a watery death down that well. There's the rush from Rack Attack, but with Lucamino dead, it's only him healing. He does get boosted healing, of course, in the Kitsune rush with a faster rate of fire, but it should be good enough for maybe an extra kill. He does end up going down, and now Lucamino's coming back on the Lucio. Vegas Eternal, they had everything they needed to win this fight, and Dove, the only one finding a kill. Overtime is here for the Eternal, but Gladiators, they've got the strength and they've got the numbers to get the flip.
That's so strange. Why do you solo EMP Dante? And he's still fighting on this point because of all the sustainability they had. Maybe not recognizing that Dante had that Primal Rage, and now they're just bleeding out and they lose the round. An absolute fumble there by the Vegas Eternal. They were in the driver's seat, they had the EMP. We've seen some teams utilizing that EMP to just burn the Winston before he can get support, get Primal Rage. They weren't even close. There wasn't even close. Dante was at like 400 health when he decided to pop that Primal Rage as well.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to think, would it have been better to go for the backline, a target that's more exposable, and just sort of try and mitigate the effectiveness on Dante on this Winston?
Yeah, he just sits
just nothing.
there.
Oh, and he takes down Lucamino.
You see him throw the lamp vertically upwards. Catch, please, someone. Someone make use of this ability. They have 4 ults, bro, going into that fight. That's rough, man. It's real rough. You can't, if you can't burn down the Winston like that, like you said, you have to go for the backline. And Dove's been kind of feasting, especially at the start of the game. So maybe just enabling Dove to get kills with the EMP. That's the course of action. Same kind of comps for both sides, although 2 divas now.
Kevs is going to start on the Echo. He did the same thing on Well and eventually switch over to the Genji. I wonder if he'll do the same thing, seeing Dove and Malfoy on this Tracer Sombra. This is a much better Echo point for this exact reason. You can get onto this high ground, and it's very difficult to dislodge you from here. How did Rack Attack get up there?
I bash from high ground, I believe.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense, yeah.
But yeah, so not normally do you see a Brig on the high ground just kind of vibing. All good. Not too much to protect up there. I mean, if you had an Ash or something, it would be kind of cool, but man, Dante, I mean, Kevster even, he is just juggling this point. Vulcan, he's getting healed, luckily, but boy, is that guy taking some damage right now. Hack onto Kevster, but Dove can't quite finish the kill. Barbel's in such a nice position, Scott. We talked about free Arnas the other day, and Barbel is the freest as a free Arna could be up on that high ground.
Yeah, neither the Tracer, the Sombra, or the D.Va are putting pressure onto this Ana, so Babel's just getting so much ult charge and finally has that nano boost. Who is the target for this one?
I mean, honestly, Kevster at this point, oh, now he's down from height. He's getting on someone. Oh,
he
stolen,
did not hit him.
Stolen! He gave it to Yaki instead. I think that was supposed to go on Dante, who was going pretty low, but now Yaki has to find something or he's going to look a little bit like a fool. Well, he's got Pulse at least. I guess he gained some ult charge for it. There's the rally on the point for Funny. Astro, it looks like this fight is pretty much done. Pulse bomb out. There's the D-Mech, and that'll be the point.
A little sloppy there from the Gladiators with their ultimate usage. You could argue maybe Astro didn't need to use the rally at that point, but we didn't know how much pressure he was on himself. Dove? That ain't right. Yeah, Dove goes back over to the Tracer after being on the Symmetra for a second.
Hey, TP to high ground.
Yeah, TP to high ground. I don't know.
TP EMP.
TP.
TP.
You know, when a Sombra has a way to teleport themselves, they don't really need
you don't
the
want to waste
Symmetra.
it. You need to just get out, bro.
No. They don't need to get out. They need to get on this point. Malthor has the EMP, baiting people in. Oh, nice two-man EMP.
Really good on Dante and Funny Astro. Forces the remake from Dante, uses self-destruct. No damage, but it does result in a flip for the Eternal. Good stuff. That overhealth too is going to be hard to chunk through, but with Rack Attack's rally kind of fading at this point, it's up to Kev to try and find something. Dive bombs 3 people, instantly turns into the D.Va. I see another self-destruct. No, instantly D-Mech. Although you almost get the mech back instantly.
Oh, the body block!
No, the body block! Oh, that was so nice. Rack Attack sandwich between 2 D.Vas there, unfortunately. And there's the free self-destruct. It is in a lamp, so Vulcan doesn't instantly die, but with Kevster almost immune on the point with 2 healers backing him up, they are going to be able to clean. Dove opens the fight once again with a pulse and kills Bubble. I mean, his pulse efficiency is very high at this point. It's just kind of capitalizing on that is what Eternal's struggling with.
It's not just the efficiency. We've obviously been talking about the Tracer pulse bomb attach rate a lot this season. There's a big difference between putting it on the tank, which potentially can be healed up, and hitting these support liners, getting these low HP targets. Because if you can take down an Ana or a Baptiste or a Brick just like that, that's such an impactful kill in a team fight.
Beautiful stick. Kevster, Nano too. Stagger? Little stagger? No. I kind of want them to stagger that, but all good. I mean, maybe they get mech back, but feels like you could burn a lot more time off the bank just staggering the D.Va. But it's all fine. It's all fine. Self-destruct and rally for the next fight, Scott. We'll see if Rack Attack and Lucamino can actually survive this dive. It's going to look pretty rough for them if they don't survive here. We're looking at a final fight for Glads, and you can stall this point out forever with someone like a D.Va.
Especially when you have Funny Astro with the rally as well. Right. That's going to be so much overhealth that the entire Gladiator is going to have. Once again, I'm looking at Malthor to get this EMP and get more value than he did on Well.
All right, Kevster, it does get hacked, but the peel is so good. Dude's playing into a window. Okay, finally, someone took him down. Jeez, that guy's a menace. Even Astro with a rally on the point. Good collapse from Eternal. They're fighting the flip pretty handedly here, as both Bricks are dead. I mean, Babel's pretty free and has been for the rest for the majority of this game, but with Astro falling, I mean, you have way less protection. You can't randomly get a pack throughout the middle of the fight. So Eternal actually come up big with that fight and save the EMP and save the pulse, but they just need to execute on this properly.
That was a very strange fight. I don't know how the Gladiators lost that one. Felt like Funny Astro and Kevster just not on the same page, just going aggressive at different times. But as you said, Jack, Malthor with this EMP.
Oh, he's going up. Oh, just a manual hack. I thought he was going for the big EMP. Oh, he does go for the EMP.
Don't like it, though.
I mean, that's rough. He misses the manual hack. I'm just going to press Q, bro. All good. All good.
But it doesn't work, Jack.
No.
That was once again, Malthor drops an EMP where it's almost impossible for the rest of his team to follow up. Who on his team can follow that up? Yeah. Kevster, if worst came to worst, even had the copy. So he could have used his ultimate to turn into whoever he needed to. So definitely some pain points here for the Vegas Eternal of how they're coordinating these EMPs, and the Gladiators are punishing them very well.
Oh, yes. Ooh.
Dove had a great map, honestly, on this Tracer.
I was going to say, he looks good, and that's the thing, right? You need one consistent factor in your team, and for Eternal, it is Dove.
Yeah, absolutely. He showed glimpses of it last season, and we were like, oh, okay, maybe there's a little upside here, and I think he's really leveled up, especially his flexibility and the heroes that he can play. He can play the Tracer, but also can play, some of these flex DPS heroes can play the hit scan. You know, there is some upside here for Dove on this roster and the Vegas Eternal as a whole, but no match for the Gladiators, at least on Ilios.
We're going to Kings. Oh, yes. My favorite map, and a lot of people's favorite map. So, should be a good one. We'll see who wants to attack first. After this break, don't go anywhere. Glad's up. 1-0.
As we head over to Kings Row, I was hoping the Vegas Eternal would have their pocket pick Avala come in. It almost worked for them against the London Spitfire.
Yeah.
Unfortunately not. They are going to have no subs. But on the other side, the Los Angeles Gladiators putting in Lastro. A caliber of Lastro's player just coming in off the bench. This usually means that they're going to play that double flex support style where Babel can play that aggressive Kiriko and Lastro will play the Ana or the Baptiste along that line of work.
Yeah, we'll see. See what's up. Yeah, look at me now on the Hanzo. Look pretty good. On Kings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. Vegas Eternal.
That's facts.
I expect them to stick more to that Ramatra style. You know, I think we've said this throughout the entirety of the season, and you just saw it on that map. Sombra and the dive is just not really the strengths of the Vegas Eternal. They aren't
hard-hitting impact like solo heroes.
When they can get Malthor on the Hanzo, he hits some good shots on well. He can play, get Dove onto that Tracer. There's value there. Vulcan on that Ramatra. They can make it work and go back and forth. And honestly, that's how they can go toe-to-toe with the Gladiators. And Kings Row should be more conducive for that way of playing.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll be Glads on the attack first. And Vegas Eternal on the defense. Yeah, so they're going with Malphite and Hanzo. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what you want to see. No Sombra. There's very little like kind of space. Sombra works way better on things like control.
Yeah.
So it's going to be nice to see Malphite and Hanzo, see what we can do, see what we can pull out. And Glads, yeah, I mean, I'm not too surprised to see this kind of lineup, either Lasher on Kiri or Barbel on Kiri, and then the other one, the Ana. I really like Ana Kiriko.
Yeah.
I think it's so strong, because Ana, on her own, can sustain a tank pretty easily. And then you can, if you need to, just hit the other DPS every now and then. You can just send the Kiriko on the flank. Like, it feels pretty good. All right, no shot for Kevster. Not today. It's still okay, love this. Love seeing Genji, and especially played by Kevster too.
Do you love seeing the Genji?
Yes.
Like, you know, stop thinking about your love for just Genji as a cool character and he's fun to play. I'm cool. Like, in a setup where there is a Baptiste and a Kiriko, I find it so difficult to find the serious value for this Genji, especially with his ultimate. Obviously, in the neutral, when you're getting the dash resets and he can climb into the windows, execute this backline, there's value. But outside of that, I just really struggle to see if you could get more value from, like, an Echo or a Hanzo.
Oh, goodbye, Yaki. Okay. Yeah, but then again, Nanoblade is cool.
That is true. You can't argue with that.
Very epic. So the thing is, you do have to get through Lucamino and Rakatak's immortalities, like Immortality Field and the Suzu, but your ability to take high ground here is just so easy. Yeah. Like, he threw 3 shurikens at the people holding high ground, and they instantly drop to the floor. Like, they're not dealing with that. They know what's coming up, and it's going to be a Winston. Speaking of coming up, there's some kills. Yaki taking down Dove. Dante's kind of chilling in the corner, took a couple of headshots, but now they can get point presence. They don't have to worry about that flank tracer no more.
Yeah, the Gladiators are one
nice
with the
Sonic,
position.
Actually, by Malphite there. He revealed Lastro. Jeez, pinned him to the ceiling. Rakatak with yet another kill on a DPS. Dante is way too deep.
Wow.
But they're still getting time on the point, Scott. They got 2 ticks, and Yaki finally dead, so they can converge on Babel, who was the only one there getting time.
It's actually interesting. Lastra is the one on the Kiriko, not the Babel. I just sort of put those two together. I feel like historically it's been flipped for those two players. But Gladiators, they do get those 2 ticks. I like the aggression from the Gladiators, but just some honestly great individual play there from Malphite and the rest of the team to sort of deflect that aggression. But now the Nanoblade is here. Honestly, Gladiators have 5 ultimates. Same for the Vegas Eternal. Who can press more Qs and get more value from these ultimates?
Yep, there's the Dragons. It's actually through the corridor of all things. There's the Nanoblade. Lab instantly goes down, but that's an easy kill for Kevster. It's right in front of his face. 1, 2, almost 3 kills. Dashes into a wall and gets cleaned up by Dove, but it's all good. The point has been capped by the Gladiators. Nanoblade used, same with the Primal. And they got Rush and Pulse for the second push. Yep, that's an easy kill onto Dove too.
So difficult to deal with. You got a Primaling Winston, you got a Nanoblade, you can't deal with all those threats, and that's how the Gladiators are going to overcome that issue of the double immortality field. Just throw everything and the kitchen sink at the Vegas Eternal. It was a pretty solid first hold there for the Eternal on the first point. They didn't use too many of their ultimates, or at least they kept the Annihilation, which is such an important team fight ultimate. Lastro does have this Kitsune Rush, which can just do so much burst damage to take down Vulcan, so he's going to need to be careful.
Sneaky. Oh, he did the 180. He went straight. If Malphite headshot him there, I think I would have lost it. Loses his Pulse too, maybe. But Pulse goes wide. Dante jumps in without the ultimate. However, Lastro is going to back him up with a Kitsune Rush. What is happening with Lastro's movement right now? Okay, he's dead. All good. He failed the jump up there a couple of times and paid for it with his life. Rather unlucky. Still a lot of progress being made, but with Dante dead, should be easy for Vulcan to take over at this point.
Very little vortex there, sort of not allowing Kevster to, he wanted to go up the walls, make it very difficult to get punished, but yeah, pulls him down to earth. Malphite takes him out, and that's a great hold here for the Eternal. They don't have any ultimates remaining, but either do the Gladiators, and this is where the Eternal composition will be stronger, where they can hold these chokes, choose the positioning of these fights, and Gladiators don't have as many flank angles or high grounds to utilize as they would like.
Yep, no ultimates either, which is rather rough. You gotta force that swift step away from a rack attack. It's only on like a 6-7 second cooldown, so it's not that long, but getting him down from a high ground is important. There you go, forced him again. Good vortex is coming in from Vulcan, stopping Dante's movement abilities and slowing him down for him to run out of his nano. Oh my! Still the blinking! Oh, what a stick by Yaki! But Dove just turns it on his head. Beautiful play, actually, from both Tracers there. I think that's an even trade.
Return to sender right there from Dove. Great heads-up play, just recognizing doesn't have the recall. Yaki hits him with the Tracer diff, and then Dove says, not today.
I'm taking you with me. Straight back to the spawn room.
And that forces a reset for the Gladiators. They don't have that Tracer to be able to sort of go toe-to-toe, and the Eternal hold off of that nano-boosted fight, just honestly doing a great job of deflecting the nano-boost from Dante. Minute 30 remaining. The Gladiators are running out of time. Dante's so low.
Oh, he's dead?
99%. Just didn't get that Primal Rage in time.
Oh, what a headshot by Malfoy. Okay.
Let's go, Malfoy. He's having a good game right now.
Yeah,
him on the
really
Hanzo,
is.
he looks very comfortable.
Man, Vegas Eternal and Hanzo gameplay on King's Road.
Yeah.
That's what you need. Whether it's Lucamino or Malfoy, doesn't matter.
And yeah, the Gladiators
1 minute, Scott, here.
They haven't really looked to have any strength with this composition against what the Eternal are playing, other than when they had those wealth of ultimates to drop. And that is coming up once again. They're going to have the Nano Blade. They're going to have the Primal. They're going to throw everything they can at Eternal. How is Eternal going to adapt? I would like to see Eternal go aggressive with Vulcan. Don't let them get set up to drop everything at once, and that's exactly what they do.
Very aggressive. Rakatac's in trouble, though. Has Swift Step, gets away. But Bubble's already dead. Dove, once again, finds a huge pulse bomb. Yaki's getting shot in the back. Has to back up.
Dante's committing?
There will be a committal of the Primal Rage. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused about that one as well, because you're not going to be able to use that to retouch. Lastro does end up killing Dove, but it doesn't really matter. Dante had no support then because Bubble died so early. They got 25 seconds to go star. They got a Nanoblade, they got a Pulse, but they got no Primals to sustain. This Nanoblade has to go off.
Eternal catching the Gladiators with their pants down. And Gladiators, instead of just respecting it, taking that fight loss, try to commit and lose. Now Kevster, with only a Nano Blade, needs to come up huge.
I mean, it's Kev, bro.
Yeah,
Dude was built to play Overwatch.
Anything is possible when
Built in
Kev
a
has
lab. Nano Blade, they gotta rip it, they gotta rip it. You see Nemesis form will come out, here comes the Blade, the Vortex is not there either, Lucamino's the target, the lamp goes down, but before it goes down, Kevster cuts Lucamino in half. Beautiful Nano Blade. I expect nothing less from Kevster.
Oh, you can see Lucamino think he had a little bit more time with that Immortality field, but Kevster ripping it down before it even found any value. And Eternal unlikely to be able to get another team fight here. Do you see Rakatac switching over to the Lucio as if they're going to try for it? No!
Oh, they don't quite get there. I mean, this is a stagger kill if they do find it. Shuriken's flung his way. Doesn't quite find the mark, but all good. I wonder if Rakatac goes back to spawn now, gets off the Lucio. No, it looks like he's going to stay on it. I feel like I'd prefer the Kiriko even an Ana here.
Or the Brig, just anything.
Really,
yeah.
I mean, you can dive in, I suppose. You can match the speed from Lastro, who's now on Lucio. A good pick from Dove. Let's make that 2, in fact. Really pumping our numbers already. With only a minute to go, good look from Eternal right now. They are not really going to have beat for this last fight. I mean, maybe one of the Lucios gets it with an amped up healing or something, but very unlikely if this fight goes quickly, which it might do because Dove has a pulse in his hands.
Yeah, the Gladiators, they have to play aggressively. They have to find a way to get on top of Lucamino. Lucamino's just going to sit on these high grounds, dropping heals on the Vulcan. You can see Dante jumping up for him.
Nice. Good space being created there. Lastro went way too far. Potentially got booped into that small corridor and taken out. So what do Gladiators do here? Are they going to go for a reset? I'm not sure. Another beautiful stick from Dove, but the pulse bomb was teleported away, did a little bit of damage, but that was about it. There's 15 seconds to go as the Gladiators, they might not cap this 3rd point, Scott.
Yeah, they are coming up onto ultimates, but with only 13 seconds remaining, they're going to have to use a lot of their mobility to get into this fight. And Eternal, they're coming up to ultimates of their own. Rakatac will have that sound barrier to mitigate any of the aggression the Gladiators do decide to pull out.
All right, here it is. It's OT. Dante once again getting up onto the high ground, forcing the positioning of Lucamino, getting down to low, so he can't just free fire, even put a window if he wants to. Dove harassing the backline. Yaki's trying to check in, but now decides better of it and go for the backline. He does have a pulse, but with his sound barrier, he's going to have to wait it out. Both Lucios using them at pretty much the same time, but Vulcan, the focus fire from the Gladiators is just too good. Forces him to go for the self-destruct and a remake, and they are now turn-tailing and running back to their spawn.
Dealing with the threat of the Dante Primal Rage, but Yaki drops one onto Malthul.
Consuming Rush is coming in. Dante's pretty low, getting amped up healing from Barbel there, throwing those off with us towards him. And Yaki and Kevster are just cleaning house now. I said it might not look like a 3rd point cap, but Gladiators proving me wrong. Dove does hit the recall on the point to stall out for a little bit longer. Mouthful on the Widow, but look, Yaki's just holding this door shut. And look, now even Dante just making sure no one from Eternal can get out of spawn. And now Kevster rips yet another blade.
Oh
Both supports dead. He is just too clean with it. And there it is, the cap on third. Looked a bit disastrous in that last fight near the second point, but Gladiators make it work and get those 3 points on Kings.
It just feels like Eternal are so close.
They are! Dude, I'm telling you, bro. Listen up. They're going to find maybe a map win here, okay? They're going to finish with 1 minute and 1 second, so they get a free attack.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And then what's going to happen? They're going to find this one map. They're going to lose the series, okay? Just to prove the desk wrong, as always. And then, in 6.5 weeks, they're going to find their first one.
Okay.
I've read the script. I was just handed it now.
That's some crazy code
6.5
that I
weeks?
just listened to.
Write it
Everyone
down.
put it in your calendars. We got another August 14th coming again.
Kings Row has to be one of the maps in that map.
Yeah.
Because clearly this is one of their best maps.
But here's my problem, Jack, about everything that you just said.
Right, okay.
On Ilios, we saw the same thing. They had an advantage. They had the ultimates. They had all the tools to be successful, yet they fumbled. I think that sound barrier from Rack Attack was just way too early. Why is he dropping it that early? It was really to save Vulcan, who had a Diva Bomb anyway. He needed to hold on to that one. Oh, that was
my
nasty.
God. Look at Dove. Oh, man, there's nothing better than that when you're not on the receiving end of that.
Yeah, you can see it in Yaki's cam when it happened as well.
He's like, no!
I love
that was such a, like I said, that was 2 sick Tracer plays there. Sticking a recalling Tracer and then blinking into them to punish them. Beautiful stuff. Got some cool plays though, to be fair. A lot of highlights, which is always nice. This is an interesting... Can you even see? You can't even...
What am I witnessing? We gotta ban the Life Weaver from these
I'm pretty
spawn
sure Rack
strategies.
Attack just hard trolled Dove because that Petal went up to the top glass there and you can't shoot through that. Hard trolling your Widowmaker.
Me when I troll.
Me when I troll.
Okay, so they are going to play this composition that they also played on Blizzard World yesterday, and I think it will work a lot better on Kings Row because what they're going to be able to do, you can see them playing incredibly defensively, but they're just taking position, and the Gladiators have to respect this. But Yaki on the Sombra, they're going to look for a hack, the Gladiators, that is. They're going to look for a hack and try and punish. We saw Luke Mino have a bad day yesterday playing the Baptiste. Will that happen again?
Oh yeah, Luke Mino had a rough one. He was dying first, like every time on that Junkertown map. Very,
Landon,
very
but Luke
rough.
Mino
Oh,
also had
Landon,
the same
sorry.
problem. Like, it's just very difficult to keep your Baptiste alive in these types of setups as soon as you step up, and that's why you can see the Eternal playing so defensively.
Right. Forcing Yaki's recall is kind of nice.
Slowly getting ticks up. This is what they need to do.
Oh, Lasher. None of those hit. Oh, random headshot with the Storm Arrow. Love to see that. But Luke Mino, like you said, very hard to keep your BAP alive. He's got only 1 shift. And you normally have to use it before you have... nice kill. Before you have less than 100 HP. Because you're too scared of the burst, right? So you're not always counting on that instant healing you get from regenerative burst under 50%. So
that's 2 ticks though. So now the Gladiators need to be more proactive. They can't give as much space as they just did. And you can see Yaki trying to just sort of ping people out, get his team some information and wait to go. Ooh. But Lastro, Malfoy with another great opening pick.
Good stuff. Here you go. Now you want to capitalize. But the Gladiators are going to respond with a nano onto Dante. Pulse landed, but a good lamp from Lucamino. He's alive and he's well. He's making sure Malfoy is the same. Yaki does take down Dove, but this should be a cap now. I mean, there's only squishy members that could touch, and there we go. Eternal getting the payload going.
Yeah, once again, just great play. Understanding the win conditions of their composition, not overcommitting ultimates, and just some good individual plays. That's something that the Vegas Eternal have been severely lacking. I think when they had Dove on the hit scan, Malfoy on the Tracer, they weren't getting those opening picks as much, so it just felt like they were standing around so much, and that's why they had the lowest team fight taken in the league just last week. So this is a much better look here for the Eternal, and Vulcan being able to play the D.Va, a hero he's much more comfortable on. It's going toe-to-toe with the Gladiators right now.
Paranoia meter right now for Eternal is just at a whole new level. Kevster is behind them, they kind of know. And then there was no one in the choke. Okay, there's the dive. They're waiting for Rack Attack to get into a position where he's either forced to ult or he just dies. No, there's the ults. Kitsune Rush and the Dragons. Pretty nice, actually, splitting the rest of the Gladiators. Bash into the Winston, does hit the stun, and Rakatak dodges the EMP. It hits 3, but that lamp comes out just in time. And this defensive play from Eternal right now working wonders for them. Even Dante can't get any work done.
Yeah, the Gladiators threw so many things at them. They threw the Primal, they threw the EMP, but it's just not enough to get through the defensive setup here of the Eternal, and the great E by Vulcan is keeping them in this fight.
Jeez, everything being thrown in here. They want to really hold this choke point. Nano boost onto Dante, but Gladiator is just so low, and Vulcan and the rest of the team going to heal back up. They once again sustain through another ultimate.
Rakatak does finally go down, but his job is done. He's done a phenomenal job of just staying alive, keeping his team alive.
No one is dying.
And that should be a teamfight win here for Eternal. Gladiators just coming up with no answers in that teamfight.
They use everything. They use EMP. They threw through Primal, Nano, Rush as well. Eternal didn't go down.
That was mightily impressive there from the Eternal. And now all of a sudden, the Gladiators are on the back foot. Eternal's coming up to another rally. Rakatak almost charged a whole nother rally in that teamfight as well. He popped it at the start, almost coming out with another one.
Damage and the healing. It's just amp healing in that small space. Like, you're getting so much work done. A lot of free ult charge. Rocking that Inspire. Yaki gets the hack on Lucamino. Just out of range of Rakatak. He was around that corner, couldn't receive the pack. No cookie for you.
He needs to find a way to be able to get either his lamp or his regenerative burst off.
You've just got to hug, I think. You just got to hold hands with Rakatak as you walk down the streets of King's Row, keeping each other safe.
Yeah, you know, be close to your fellow support player. They'll appreciate it a lot.
Just hold your homie's hand.
And I think they need to do a better job of trying to find Yaki. It felt like Yaki was lurking around for that hack for so long, and they just weren't able to find it. Like, he's just doing this time and time again.
Hack. Now he's on high ground. Should be fine, though.
Yeah.
Good position to get away, and Lastro dies. Support dead. Whole spawn from Dove. Kills Dante. Slowly but surely now, Eternal are making this work, Scott. If you kill Babel here, it's huge.
Oh, no!
You cannot let that pick come through. Yaki's going to be able to touch. He has Babel at his back. Wow, a popping of the rally from Rakatak. It's nice. Secure the point. That's all you need. EMP and a Nano on the Sombra, but there's too much overhealth for them to chew through. It's 0.004 meters away, but somehow Gladiators are holding on to this one. Nano Yaki putting in the work, and Babel not dying there and finding a kill onto Malfoy was disastrous. He's on the sim.
Why?
He is on the sim.
Why?
45 seconds to go. I guess he wanted to TP back to the rest of his team
That's not
quickly.
faster than just playing absolutely anything else. Like, maybe he wants to give the TP to his teammates, but there's no way you can expect that team fight is going to last that long.
He's switching too, right? He's going
he goes over to the Sombra. That's a strange one here for me from Malfoy. Going over to the Sombra as well, his Hanzo's been so impactful. I don't know why.
He's been finding the pick, Scott.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's been such a good look for the Eternal. Maybe panicking a little bit, but that's been their issue so far in this series. When the final fights come through, they're making mistakes. Gladiators holding on, but they have no ultimates.
No ultimates versus a self-destruct and maybe a pulse from Dove. Dove has to open this one up. Very unlikely that Malfoy will do so. Yaki unable to get spy checked, and Lastro is behind enemy lines right now. Already used the Suzu, but overtime is here. 4 meters to go as Kev's got a pulse of his own. It's Tracer versus Tracer. Kev's with a nice stick onto Vulcan. Can he get the D-Mech? Yes, he can. Self-destruct for the D.Va. And now it's up to the Gladiators to try and kite, but Dante can't run away from self-destruct. He didn't have leap available and allows Vulcan to get the remake, Scott. With a couple of meters to go and Lucamino on the back, there might be a little bit too much healing and no pulse required from Dove to sink this one in. Even a translocation there from Yaki as he tries to get the touch, but they need to find these kills and fast.
Yeah, he's dropping the amplification matrix, just trying to put
got to kill people.
an end to this, but they can't find any kills back from the EMP!
The rally bashed onto Yaki cancels the EMP. Eternal, they're going to be able to do it. They're going to at least get second point. Yaki with a fatal fumble, trying to EMP in front of the rallying Brig.
Rakatak is playing phenomenally on this Brig, just doing such a good job of keeping everyone alive, staying alive, and then also with an individual bash there onto the Yaki EMP. If that EMP goes off, anything could have happened in that team fight. Massive plays, and now Eternal trying to keep this map going. Only a minute remaining, and now Malfoy is the one with an EMP.
Dante hacked, Suzu'd, here we go. Maybe they're not going to finish with a minute and 1 second. EMP's decent, waits for the engage, and Lastro instantly dies. I mean, Dante is out, yes, but 55 seconds to go, Scott.
I want to see Vegas Eternal go. Do not let the Gladiators stand around here. They're just sort of letting them stay alive.
They're letting them chill.
Yeah, just giving them too much space right now, and the Gladiators are going to re-engage here, but they have the ultimates, they have the advantage.
There's no EMP, there's not much of anything. I mean, Vulcan can get a remap with self-destruct, or he hits a cheeky little 5k. Very unlikely to happen. Even Lastro swapping off to an aggressive pick, he's on the Zen. So it makes Vulcan's life a whole lot harder.
It's going to be so hard to take this fight while there's a Zenyatta in the server. Lastro needs to have some pressure on him, either from Malthor or Dove.
Well, speaking of pressure, Dante's dishing out a whole lot of it right now, forces the lamp from Blue Camino. Here come the ultimates. Eternal have stalled long enough now to get some ults of their own. Rally available, you got Window, there's the Nano onto Dante though. You gotta do something, Eternal! You gotta do something! Self-destruct, Rack Attack's dead with Rally! Dove finds a pulse onto Lastro, there's the pressure you wanted, Scott, but that's really about it. Rack Attack dead, Lucamino coming back on Lucio is a slow bleed out, but Dove finds 2 again. He's so clutch, but he's got no recall. The EMP from Yaki is good. There's the D-Mech onto Vulcan, and they are going to be able to clean this one up. With Dove dead, there's no chance, no hope for Eternal. Gladiators up 2 maps. That looks so doable.
The Eternal right now are anti-clutch. They are way too scared to make a play. They had the Gladiators on the rope. Malthor drops that EMP. Dante disengages. If you can go aggressive, that you're in a 5v4 situation. Leave one person on the cart, it can be your Ana player or the Baptiste player. Leave him in the back, keep him on the cart, then he will support your team. If they could have forced Dante Primal earlier, and by just playing aggressive, that could have changed the scope of this team fight. The Vegas Eternal, just when it really matters, aren't willing to make the play right now. And the Gladiators just punish them time and time again for that.
Feels like this is a lot closer than Gladiators really want this, but Eternal are putting up a good fight right now. I mean, this bash, look at this. Rack Attack sees him. Oh, no, different clip. Different rally, different EMP. Same point, though. Yeah. The amount of fights on this second point have been just insane. That'll be in the package there somewhere, but there you go. Glad's up 2 maps. Junkertown next. Ooh. Might be a little bit of a rough one. Their style that they want to play, maybe the Hanzo, maybe you've got to stick Hanzo on Trace.
I think you have to.
There's no way, right?
And that's pretty solid on Junkertown. We've seen some people playing the Ramatra, same with that double flex or the Baptiste Brig. So it is quite solid for what we've seen from the Vegas Eternal so far.
Yeah, we'll have a look if they can get another map. Gladiators, though, up 2-0. After this break, Junkertown.
come through, but now Shine's gonna
fighting
be down.
Astro.
That is the delay tactics widely dealt
In a 4v5, oh, not quite so much anymore. Kevster dishing out the damage.
This is giving me vibes of Florida against the Atlanta Rain.
What?
That is dirty. A rough return here, just kind of getting bullied. That was a good shot.
Wave hello, maybe goodbye to the rest of your team, Decay, because Lastro's on the field. Nano Zen just to keep him alive.
rolling, trying to keep everybody alive. And Hydron, oh boy, punched into oncoming traffic. Dante shuts him down.
Hey yo, what's up? Eternal and Gladiators facing off. Small change here for the Glads, in fact. We got a Kai coming in. Good old British boy, British sniper. Going to come in for Glads. And as we go over to Junkertown, not too much of a surprise there. So Widowmaker is going to be the play. Let's go.
Yeah. Usually when Kai comes in, it's to play that hard hit scan here for the Gladiators. We've seen people moving away from that style of play. You've seen teams playing like this Winston, Tracer, Sombra and just not allowing a Widowmaker to exist on the map.
Yep.
But if you're playing against the Vegas Eternal, probably a safe bet. You know that that's not where the Vegas want to go. Malthus Sombra hasn't been that inspiring so far in this series. So you can play Kai pretty confident that he'll have the space to shoot.
Very good with it. Is Kai. So curious on how they play the rest. I would imagine Kevs just goes on the Tracer again. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense putting him on anything else. I don't think a Sombra or anything like that. Just Tracer, poke at the back line. If Eternal end up running Widow, you can poke the Widow so Kai gets free space. But of course, we can see we are cheating right now. We do have, of course, the comp on our screen. Gladiators will know that in just a moment, but Malthus on the Hanzo. So Hanzo, Tracer, what we wanted to see, Scott, at the end of the day was just these kind of like solo carry heroes, right? Dove's been doing well, as always, on the Tracer, but Malthus has been hitting some key headshots on Kings. Yep. Very interesting swap, I will say, onto the Sim. But it's okay.
Things we choose to ignore that happened in that server. Obviously, we've been hyping up the Eternal a lot more because they've been fighting this match a lot closer than a lot of people expected it to be. If you're the Gladiators, so far this series, Jack, do you think you're confident in how you've played, or are you a little upset that you haven't been as dominant in this series?
You're probably a little bit upset. Oh, wow. Whoa, that arrow. Did you see that arrow too? Wow, that almost hit him. You destroy that little bolt? Yeah. There's a solo Q tip for you. Destroy those little railings there so Widow can't sit on them and just peek over that small little bit of grating. Oh, Malthus.
Malthus dancing with death.
He really is. And you know, dude. I mean, the thing is, as well, Vulcan doesn't want to use shield or Nemesis form too early, so he's a walking headshot hitbox for Kai. And look at this rotation, too. They can't punish him, because also Lashro is just going to chill on Zen, protecting his backline.
And that's, once again, knowing that Malthus doesn't want to play that Sombra, so you can play greedy. You can play that Zenyatta, and if you're as confident in your Zenyatta skills as Lashro, you're not afraid of Dove.
I mean, Malthus is cowering right now in that mega health pack room. You've flipped the map on the Eternal. And now Widow has a way better sightline for you and way better cover.
Kai's going to hit shots eventually. People are going to start falling. Kevster does it first, takes down Luke Mino, just absolutely isolating him. And you know, the Vegas Eternal just kind of bleeding out with their positioning right now as the Gladiators just playing them like a fiddle.
I think they're playing them like a whole band at this point, to be honest with you, Scott, not just the fiddle. Gonna be real. Dove, though. It's in the kill feed. He has been all series long on this Tracer. Vulcan's going to switch over to the Diva. I like this switch. You know, whenever high ground start to get introduced, Vulcan usually switches over to the Diva. How are they going to try and answer this Lastro Zenyatta? Because if they just allow Lastro and Babel to sit on these high grounds with this double flex support, it's going to be hard for anybody to stand up to that. And unless Malthus just hitting Hanzo arrows from across the map, Dove's not going to be able to put enough pressure on these guys, and you just saw that on the first point. The Gladiators know just by existing, they're winning the neutral. Pulse bomb, Dove, no connection, and there is the Infosights. Oh my nasty Kevster. How long do you reckon it took to engineer Kevster? Oh, what a stick. Oh, God, he's just so good. Kevster is just too good at the game, man. How many years? It's got to be, you know, like AI has gone pretty far in the last couple of years, right? How long did it reckon to take to make Kevster? It's got to be at least like iRobot levels of mechanics.
I think
at this
Chat
point.
GPT is just an extension. It's version 2 of Kevster.
Right.
They're just evolving year on year. So he started as an Overwatch
disgusting,
bot,
bro.
and now they're just typing everything into the
Easy
world.
bot, medium
Yeah,
bot,
yeah,
hard
yeah.
bot, godlike bot, Kevster bot.
Yeah. There's so many different levels of bots, and Kevster is just one of them.
He
and
is.
he's just... You know what the thing that gets me about... Honestly, Kai is the same way. They just have no emotions when they're playing.
Zero
They're just
emotions,
so level all the time. We're going to see a rally engage and a dragon just kind of come out of nowhere here from
Do not
the
peek
Eternal.
Kai.
But they can't follow that up. The Gladiators are almost still standing in spawn. They didn't even use a single ultimate.
I feel like that's what it takes. Oh, mouthful. Nice preemptive sleep there by the community. Didn't end up landing. Oh no, Kevster! Reflex the Sonic straight back into Mouthful's head. Nano boost though. Whoop, whoop. Look at him go.
Get him.
Look at him go. Look at him go. Look. Oh, he's dead. Rough stuff, honestly.
And why use the bomb? Why would you use the deeper
He
bomb?
got Lastro.
Got
High
my
five.
one.
He got
my
one.
baby. Let's go.
I got my one. Let's go. Kevster's got Blade though, almost. So.
Falcon's not switching at what? Like maybe he was afraid of the stagger, but
Like what?
that was a lot of ultimates that the Eternal just used in a very just early fight, but also losing fight.
Yeah.
So maybe starting to show the cracks in the Gladiators' strength just as a team of players. Like we haven't talked about how great the players in the Gladiators team are that much in this series, but that's just because it's part of the course. We expect that from these guys, and
Yeah.
if anything, we haven't seen that dominance like we usually see from them.
All right, how many kills can we get with the Nano Blade? Come on, Kev. Even Kai's taking a bit of poke damage here. Pulse bomb onto Kai.
Ooh.
That was very close. Didn't even take damage from that.
I think
Here's
the
Nano Blade.
stairs working
Look,
in his favor a little bit there.
Bubble staring right at him. Oh, a manual hack comes through. This
Nano
is an
Blade.
easy go button, yeah. Nano, Sono Blade. Sono Blade. All right, I mean, honestly, you force so much out of the Eternal just nanoing Kev.
Oh, Luke Mino's in such
You
a bad
take that.
position.
You have to just... Oh,
Oh,
nice
nice.
sleep. He dies though. He has no sleep. He has an aid potentially, but
This is like one of those zombie games that you play and you just have hordes of people coming at you and
Yeah.
Luke Mino.
I got one. No, please. He's just
everywhere. Help.
akimboing his guns. Help me. I've got nade too. EMP's good though. It's good for one. Kev's still got the blade with the rally and the overhealth. He might not die almost instantly like normal Dragon Blade. So this might be all good. Chopping at a tank. A blade of my own, I see. Doesn't get too much done, in fact. Gets naded, has to back off. But yeah, no nano. Blade is very dull when you don't have the nano these days. Pretty easy to kite away from. Oh, self-destruct over the top. Bada bing, bada boom.
Kai?
That gets one. Kai is somehow in LOS of the self-destruct. As we do see Eternal battening down the hatches to try and defend this last point, but Gladiators know how strong they are individually. But another good pulse bomb from Dove will stop them in their tracks.
Just honestly great play there from the Eternal. I don't know how Kai dies to that Diva Bomb sort of getting caught by some line of sight issues. But from there, Gladiators also just going aggressive in a 4v5 was a very strange decision, and Eternal punishes them for that.
Oh, Dove's on the Genji of his own. No, that's Tracer. Man, I would like to see the little 1v1. Well, now Kev's on Tracer, so no Blade to finish off the round. That's a little bit sad, but all good. Kev can do it all.
Yeah, he's such a talented flex DPS player who sometimes doesn't get the credit he really deserves and how much strength he brings to this Gladiators roster. But once again, Gladiators running out of time on their attack, only at 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. Diva engaged with Vulcan.
Oh yeah, look at the peel though, it's so good. No sleep eaten, a lot of damage, but again the healing and the backline, just adamantium. It's very hard to dive, and Bubble had nano if he really needed it. Kai picks off Dove with a hand zone, not even a headshot, just a generic body shot. And there's Dante with the primal, instantly slept but woken up. Rally, I mean everything is being used. You only need this one fight. Oh, he lost him.
Wait, he lost him.
Wait, he lost him in that small room. All good though, because the payload has been capped.
Yeah, Gladiators just coming in, as you said, just deflecting that aggression. The Nano Diva tries to go into the backline. Dove tries to follow up, but gets taken out by Kai, and then that's just go time for the Gladiators, managing to clean that one up quite handily.
I did like your comment earlier about DPS players just not having emotions, and so when I do see Kai crack a smile, it's like, man, that's a rare one. That's a rare trading card right there.
Really funny.
Yeah, I know, right? I think Lashter was kind of cackling as well. So Yeah, that's is good. I mean, maybe that's what you need to be, right? Emotionless. Me only play game. Me shoot head. Like, that's Kai, right? Me shoot head on Widowmaker and Hanzo.
Meanwhile, I'm just the most emotional player ever.
Yeah.
I dodge Hanzo arrows
in real
as
life.
they're coming at me in real life. I'm just trying to avoid
Maybe
things.
that's what makes you a top tier player. No
Wait,
emotions.
are you calling me not a top tier player? Come on, bro.
I didn't mean to break it to you. Oh, it's
That
a
hurts,
rough
that
one,
hurts.
bro. You've been out of the game for how long,
You
man?
think you trust a guy and then he throws you under the under the bus. Like, this is a strange Diva Bomb.
Oh,
You
yeah,
don't
'cause
see people
Kai
throw
did
these very
die
often.
here.
Kai is...
Oh my god!
If that actually is how that happened, that's a
Well,
huge
he
play
did
by
get the
Raktak.
assist. In the
Hey.
Suzu does boop you slightly there, so that's honestly pretty wicked. I've not really seen a ton of those before.
Yeah.
If any before, to be fair.
It's usually you want to use it for yourself, for the
Right.
healing, for the invulnerability. It's just much more valuable in that way. As you said, very rarely do you see it get thrown at an enemy to have that
To
boot
boop
factor. So great
Mad
heads up play
props
by
to
Raktak. Yeah.
mad props to the ops team as well for noticing that one. Oh, Kai! I see that. Got one. Yeah.
My favorite thing is watching when Kai gets a headshot. Jaws and his UK brethren, he just sort of gives a little bit of a jiggle, the UK are popping off.
Don't worry. Oh no! That has got to be the worst feeling ever. Also the best feeling if you're the Widowmaker, just spawn camping one person on Junkertown. Alt F4 moment if Lucamino dies there. Although Widow, to be fair, not sure how high... Okay, please miss a shot for once. I need to talk. I need to say my point. Widowmaker did receive an update a long time ago, so you can't insta-kill people from any range.
Yeah.
So maybe that was the fall-off there, kind of working in favor, really, of Lucamino not getting insta-killed out of spawn, but...
It's never fun when you get sniped out of spawn from Narnia, from a
Yeah.
Widowmaker, where you have no way of dealing with it. It's
Chipster molding to this day about Widowmaker players.
Isn't Chipster the definition of I got my one? He won his one
See,
map
yeah,
and then left.
exactly. He got his one. 100% win rate in Overwatch League.
There's a few people like that
There are.
in that list of one and done.
The one and dones. Raktak.
How do you
Flame of
deal with
fire.
this Widowmaker right now? It feels like Mouthful has...
Dove.
Where even is
Has to
Mouthful
be,
and
right?
Dove? It's going to be hard to close this distance with a Diva as well, so the follow-up is not going to be there from the entirety of the team. But it seems like they're just waiting for Mouthful to get in position right now.
Kevster. Patience of a saint there. Waiting for that pulse bomb connection. The Matrix being covered in Rakatan right now, making sure it doesn't instantly die to a pulse.
Yeah, and you can see Vulcan is just so afraid of Kevster right now that it's so
That's
distracting.
how you kill a sniper, with another one, with Ana. However, a nice one clip on Rakatan, and now Lucamino very vulnerable in the backline. Has he got the nade? Not sure. Forces Kevster to recall regardless, and here's the opening that they require. Lastro is in fact nanoed on the point. Has to use Suzu on himself as Barbel did end up going down to a pulse bomb. As Dove is back on the board. Lastro dead, both backliners falling for the Gladiators. A self-destruct in the window.
Okay, it out though.
Reset now for the Gladiators potentially.
Lucamino peeking that corner. Fortunately, Vulcan was there to block him, but Dante looks like he wants to re-engage this one. Yeah, he's already contesting, but he's already out of mech as well.
Pulse bomb for Kevster available, but no, there you go. Dove once again finding a kill. Kevster doesn't really want to use pulse bomb. Pulse bomb there, gets naded. Rest in peace. Doors open to Junkertown though.
Yeah.
First point is theirs.
It took them a while, but they got there eventually. As you said, that kill onto Kai from Lucamino was just so important. Don't know how that one came to be. So now they're over to the second point, and their composition, the Diva is very strong here, and you're actually going to see Dante also on that one as well. So mirror Divas going to be able to match each other and to do that hug defense matrix like you were talking about.
Oh, pulse bomb. Not quite landing. Kevster was hoping that Lucamino jumped to the left, but jumped into the wall instead. Big brain movement.
What happened there? Vulcan having to use his self-destruct very early on in this fight.
Not sure. I love Kai sticking on the Widow. In Overwatch League, at least, you don't normally see that, sticking on the Widow for this point.
Well, you say you love it until he doesn't hit some shots, and then all of a sudden you can lose second point very quickly by getting stuck on this Widow, because it can be hard to get sightlines here. You can see him standing all the way back, but the Eternal are just sort of maneuvering around him.
Can't miss if we never show him on the screen.
Not how that works.
That's well, we can't see him miss. I'm just saying. Just saying. He's almost got sight, Scott, which means he's doing damage, which is the important thing here. Both backliners for the Gladiators with the Rally and the Nano. In fact, they're just going to use them in combination. Rally and Nano onto Lastro. And now the punishment begins. It reminds me of Brick of old. Lastro finds both Lucamino and Rakatak, wants some more, and gets it. Oh, it's remake kill for Dante too, adding insult to injury.
I don't even know what I just watched. I just watched a person who realizes they cannot die run into a room with 4 other people.
I am immortal.
And one person came out, and of course it was Lastro. Malthus is up to the EMP now. Kai switches over to the Hanzo, realizing that maybe the Widowmaker could be difficult to find consistent value on. 2 minutes remaining. This has not been too bad for the Eternal so far, as they have a new ultimate cycle coming up.
EMP, 2% away. Here we go.
How is he going to utilize this? I don't want to see him use the EMP on the D.Va.
Manual hack on Dante. Malthus got it. Forced to translocate. As the sleep hits Dante's back. He falls over. Here's Rakatak with the... Yeah, you've got to be careful. Oh, nice dodge. Oh! Turns his shield away to look at Kevster, but the pulse bomb was behind him. Kevster with a 2-prong attack to take down the Brig. 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. Scots. I mean, no rally. They've still got EMP. Didn't find a place to use it in that fight. Oh, if they get the D-Mech, it's huge. No. Vulcan grabbing the Mega Health back.
Kevs is just such a nuisance to deal with.
It's a menace.
You see him just running around, running rings around the Eternal. But as we said in the last fight, oh, nice little tech there by Rakatak. We've seen people trying to pull that one off more. Malthus has the EMP. You want to drop this on the back line. If you can take down a Lastro or a Babel with this one, that'd be huge for the rest of the fight. But how does Malthus get into position? He's found Lastro in the window.
Yes.
He's communicating it to his team with pings.
You see Vulcan, going straight to the window. Okay, so they really want this EMP. Nice EMP. Can Lastro get away? Right round the corner, and Dante hot on in pursuit of Malthus.
Where's Dove?
Dove is there.
Oh! How did that hit him in the head? That was...
Sorry, that is the most Hanzo moment of all time.
Wow.
Bro was looking at the floor, and the arrow still connected with Dove's head. Like,
check him PC for the wrong reasons. He's beaten the code.
They nano Vulcan as he was sleeping on the job. All good though, because sleep doesn't last that long anymore on tanks. Bubble is backing all the way up, screaming at his team, please help me. Also, the payload's pushing. Team, little help. Little help, he's dead. Lastro, Babel, dead. Dante now stands alone, attempting to be tall on the point. Not quite happening, as the box has been taken out from underneath him. And that'll be point 2 in OT. Again, Scott.
Just managing to hold on, tip of their fingers right now. Gladiators just not able to find value. They went aggressive with Lastro, but another incredible pulse bomb by Dove takes down Lastro. How many times has Dove stuck a backliner in this series?
Too many to count at this point. His accuracy of pulse bombs is super good. It's been holding the team in some of these games.
They're just incredibly consistent. And just high value sticks as well. It's winning them team fights.
Yeah, that sucks for Kevster actually, forcing the recall that early. Never a good thing. You're wondering, wow, even interesting recall there by Dove. I don't think he was under any pressure. Guy with the Dragon Strike. Oh, the split there was so nice. All right, they're thinking Kev maybe has the pulse bomb, but little did they know he was a couple of percentage points off.
You've got to always live with the assumption that Tracer has a pulse bomb.
Oh yeah, especially if you're Brig.
Oh yeah.
You just got to assume.
Malthus coming up to this EMP. Are they going to wait for this one, or are they going to try and engage with maybe the nano boost? Give themselves space. Because they're only at 20 seconds left, Jack. So a last fight territory. Vulcan does get purpled. Was losing health very quickly, but the Kevster recall has been forced.
Now you got to go. You know Kevster doesn't have recall. Oh, what a stick. Popped out around the corner, lands the pulse, and that'll be a Rakatak dead. They're putting the nano onto Dove. Perfect target, honestly, at this point in time. Overtime is here. They do get a touch, so at least they got a few more seconds to try and find a semblance in this fight. Dove's nano fading away, and there's the self-destruct from Vulcan on the point. Lastro, he's nanoing, he's rallied, and now he's swinging. Los Angeles Gladiators are going to take Junkertown and finish off the series with a 3-0.
Honestly, Vegas Eternal played that one closer than I think a lot of us were expecting. You can see them sort of coming into their own in the style that they want to play in this meta, but the Gladiators are just too strong. And that was the thing about the Gladiators that a lot of people have been excited about, is they're very flexible, but they've also just That's their neutral style. They're just playing well, and then they have these crazy pop-off moments. You saw a little bit of Kai on that on Junkertown. It's Gladiators getting that clean 3-0 like a lot of us expected.
Yeah, 3-0, and now they're 2-3 in the standings as well. Unfortunately, that will be another defeat there for Vegas Eternal, but I believe
3-2 in the standings.
3-2.
3-2 in the standings, yeah. Taking losses to the Houston Outlaws and the Atlanta Reign. There were a lot of people expect those teams to be 1 and 2 right now in the season. And the Gladiators, they have gone back and forth. They have the ability to punch up. They have the quality of players, but can they do that consistently? We saw them eke out over the Florida Mayhem, but it wasn't that convincing. This is a must-win for them over Vegas Eternal.
Yep.
They're getting a couple of easier ones tossed at them. So you can't ask for better for the Gladiators.
You really can't. At the end of the day, you've now just got to focus on the mid-season madness. You're only a couple of weeks away. Player of the match, though, for this series could go on to a lot of people. I would have loved it to go to Lastro personally, as he was nanoed on Brig and just swinging, but it is going to be the android, the just machine, Kevster. Yeah, Johnny just like,
pumping in the air right now. For Swedish
Sweden's gift to Overwatch right there, Mr. Kevster. I mean, there's nothing this guy can't do, which is the scariest thing about him. Hanzo, Tracer, Echo, it doesn't matter what you put the guy on, he's gonna perform. The Genji blades look super solid as well from him. Even without the nano, look pretty good at the end of here too.
I think sometimes, and I said this earlier, we take Kevster for granted with how good of a player he is, how flexible he is. He's been playing the Tracer, the Genji, the hit scan from time to time so far this season. And as much as you said, there were some big, crazy plays here from, Babel, Lastro at times, Kai, bits and pieces. Kevster is always doing that, and he's always putting on these high level of performances, so it's easy to just sort of not appreciate this level of stat card. 7.3 final blows per 10, 1.4 deaths. He doesn't die, yet he's just everywhere all at once.
Yeah, it's looking good. I mean, you're expecting the deaths to be that low when you do have a 3-0, so still pretty good for Kev. Now, where do you really go from here if you're Vegas? It does feel like we're seeing some sort of incremental improvement, but I mean, the Gladiators are just too much of a tougher competition here. They look close on Kings. There were some pretty bright sparks there, but still Gladiators come up with some nice plays. We saw a lot of highlight level plays, I feel, from both squads there. But
are you still believing in the Vegas Eternal win in 6 weeks? Is that still on the cards?
6.5
weeks. See you there.
See you there. It's going to be great. We are going to jump to a quick break, though. Don't go anywhere. The desk is going to break that down. And we've got 2 more games coming up later on. See you in a bit.
jerseys. You want them, you need them. Get yours for up to 20% off right now at shop.overwatchleague.com. They do say that people with jerseys statistically get to pet more corgis whenever they leave their house.
Really?
Yeah, that's...
Who says that? Who says that?
What if I don't own a corgi?
They have said that.
Statistics.
Statistics.
Confirm.
I've word on the street. Last time I wore a jersey in my sample size of 1, I got to pet a corgi. So
That's 1 for 1, 100%, guaranteed. Every time.
I got to pet my dog, which is not a corgi. But when I wore my jersey, I pet the dog. So yeah.
Yeah, I think we're on to something.
100% pet race.
Trial. It's confirmed.
It's definitely confirmed. So get your jerseys now. Send us a picture of you, your jersey, and your corgi, or other dog breed, of course. And
animals.
Animals.
Especially
just animals. We love animals. Another thing we love is, of course, good Overwatch, and Gladiators showed us just that today. A dominant win, and that's exactly what we needed and wanted to see from them. Very good looks.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas kept it close. I mean, it was not like Gladiators ran away with it. You know, there was some overtimes on Kings Row. There were some overtimes on Junkertown, and Vegas kept themselves in it.
That's true. It didn't feel like they were ever on the cusp of winning a map. It was like they didn't get stomped on every map. So, I mean...
Which is frustrating. Vegas, so.
It's like a car in the mud. I'm like, I know this car can drive, but it's stuck in the mud and it's just like spinning. You know what I'm saying?
You just gotta
get
it out.
This car was made like 40 years ago, and it's just need a new car.
You just need a new car. Well,
I mean,
I don't know where this analogy is going to end up with, but
no,
I really want you to run with it.
Don't you get like frustrated when? No.
At who's the car in this one?
It's like
Vegas the car?
Yeah, Vegas is the car.
They're stuck in the mud.
But they're stuck in the mud. They're just...
But are they a car or more like a bicycle?
They're a bicycle stuck in the mud. I guess that's the analogy we're going with now.
They're struggling Overwatch League team,
But I mean,
guys.
bicycles would be easier to get it out because they're lighter.
Just lift them out.
Yeah.
I don't know what the analogy that is.
Where are we going with this?
I don't know.
So he took it from me and then just transformed my analogy.
But hey, I agree. Dove was pretty good.
Post bombs.
Good job.
Coming in well. I think honestly, Eternal, I think they're making it work with the BAP a lot, which is I think Luke Mino's best hero. I think they're trying to favor those styles. BAP, Diva, Ramatra, Kiriko as well. Like these individualistic styles that favor their strengths. And I think that's why we're seeing close games. But the flip side of that is that these comps are not good right now on most maps. I mean, occasionally, like on Kings, okay, it's pretty decent. But forcing it on every map, it just seems out of place. And a team like the Gladiators is very flexible. They're just going to counter comp you, and they're not beating you with mechanical skill even, which they have and they can use, but they're beating you with strategy.
But I mean,
I don't want to talk about strategy though.
If you're Vegas though, then like, but wouldn't it be still better? Wouldn't it be better to just play? All right, never mind.
I mean, I like Vegas playing their strengths. I just think it's hard when those are out of the meta.
Yeah, no, but you just said like they just strategically they're on another level, and you have a display of just that. Gladiators essentially winning a fight before it even starts.
What do you do with this magic wand?
There's a
Let
wand.
me show you. Let me take you on a magical journey, Johnny. And for all the people at home, this is a clip that I want to watch because it shows that the Gladiators, they don't always need to win with like raw strength, just being better players. This is a fight that they win based purely on position, map movement, and their composition. So we can roll the clip. Right here, we're on Kai. As you can see, Kai and Lastro, they're taking an incredibly wide angle. And the Vegas Eternal, they're all caught in the corner when Tracer recalls. I mean, right now, for me, the fight is lost. You just need to give up. So we can roll the clip a little bit, and we can just pause it like right about here. And so what I want to show you guys is that the map right now is completely cut in half and flipped. So right, like this is where the defense is supposed to be. But we've got Kai's Widowmaker. I mean, no one is even near Kai. I mean, he is uncontested. No one has any hope of getting to Kai. Lastro and Babel as well. They've come this long journey now, and they're going to take. This is where the defenders are supposed to be. I mean, this is a great position for a defender. You would love to play this spot as a defender, but now the Gladiators on attack, they're the ones here in this high ground. And so Dante's trying to push Carr, Kevster, he's harassing from an off angle. It's just, right now, it looks so bad for the Vegas Eternal because they lost control of the objective and they have no hope of contesting Zen, Widow, and Ana at long range. For me, this fight is just already done based on what the Gladiators have done. And as we roll into the POVs, we'll see what they do with this. So we can see Kevster, Rack Attack gets inevitably, or rather Luke Mino gets inevitably isolated by these aggressive spam angles. Kevster, I mean, it looks like he's on defense, guys. It looks like he's on defense. but he's the attacker, and he's taking like the ultimate defender angle here, right? Lastro as well. At this point, Vegas, they're kind of falling apart. The pressure that the position puts on them is just overwhelming, and the cleanup frags come in easily for Gladiators. But I wanted to review this fight because for you at home, positional play like this is so crucial in Overwatch and getting the most value out of your team composition, especially when Vegas Eternal, they're relying on Maltho's Widowmaker, or rather his Hanzo. He's not playing the Widowmaker. He doesn't have a long-range threat when Widowmaker gets to that kind of angle on him.
And if you are Dove in that scenario for Vegas Eternal, you need to recognize how important that area is. You often see Tracer contest the flanks on defense on Junkertown and be like, hey, they got both their supports and a Widowmaker right here. Like, we need to rotate some resources. Luke and Mino on the Ana was on the high ground, so you can support your Amatra with heals and help your Tracer control that flank. But Vegas resistance, or like reluctance rather, to take an engagement like that, they just surrender all that positioning to Gladiators and they just end up caught off guard.
Dove tried. I mean, right at the start of the clip, Dove blinks in, but he's just instantly recalling. He's like 1v3ing. This team comp just has no ability to like actually get there and pressure. They needed to have an instant 5-man push, like go for it. They need to realize that you know, Gladiators is tightening the noose on them, and if you let them take the wide part of the map, it's over already, right? And I think they just didn't realize how important that was. Tracer can't do that alone. He needs the whole team to make a push.
Yeah. No, he needs to call it out, and the team needs to follow up on the Tracer.
Yeah, but again, it's miscoordination, and you know, it's just showing the difference between the two teams, really.
Yeah, it's a great showcase here of the Gladiators. They're positioning their strategic approach through those fights. Not even a lot of violence needed if you take the upper hand there in positioning. And Danny now actually has a winner's interview for us. So Danny, please.
A magical journey!
Yeah,
magical second journey, let's go! All right, for the post-match, we got none other than Yaki for the post-match interview. Yaki, congratulations on getting the win. How are you feeling? 자, 오늘 승리 축하드리면서 지금 소감 말씀 일단 들으면서 인터뷰 시작하도록 하겠습니다.
오늘 이겨서 정말 다행이라고 생각하고 저희가 전부터 지금 그 전주에 많이 져가지고 걱정하고 있는데 이겨서 다행인 것 같아요.
I mean, definitely, it's always good to get a win, and I'm glad that we got the win because the prior weeks we suffered some losses, so it really I'm relieved that we are finally putting more wins, I guess, onto our record. Now, I mean, I think this is my first time talking to you after you joined the Gladiators, so I want to just get your thoughts on, you know, the Gladiators. Like, how has your time been with the Gladiators, and also how is it like playing with a player like Kevster as the DPS duo? 자, 일단 제가 야키 선수와 이제 이렇게 인터뷰를 하는 게 이제 글래디에 들어오신 다음엔 처음인 것 같아서 지금 글래디에서 좀 어떻게 적응하고 계시는지, 그리고 또 아무래도 캡스터 같은 뭐 야키 선수들랑 캡스터 선수 둘 다 너무 잘하는 선수들인데 두 명이서 이렇게 좀 시너지가 잘 되는 것 같으신지 좀 어떠신가요? 전체적으로.
일단 저희 팀 딜러 캡스터 같은 경우에는 워낙에 또 잘하는 선수여가지고 딜러진에서 걱정은 없고, 아마 저희가 영어로서 미숙한 부분도 많은데 좀 더 보완하면은 이번 시즌 우승도 충분히 가능할 것 같고요. 네, 그렇습니다.
알겠습니다. All right, so Yaki says that you know, it's definitely great to play with such a talented player such like Kevster, and you know, because he is so good, I don't think there is any problems in the DPS for the Gladiators for sure. But the only thing is that, you know, I have to sort of work on my English a little bit. So if I improve on my English and improve on my communications, I'm sure the Gladiators, our team, could definitely get the win this whole season. Now, let's looking forward. I think you guys are your next match is going to be against the Vancouver Titans, who are sort of on a roll right now. Yaki, what is your take on the Vancouver Titans currently? 자, 두 번째 질문으로는 이제 다음 경기를 좀 이제 가서 보자면 다음 경기가 글래디 대 밴쿠버전이 있죠. 요즘 밴쿠버가 굉장히 좀 핫한 팀입니다. 글래디 같이 이제 야키 선수가 보시기에 지금 현재의 밴쿠버 팀은 좀 어떤 팀인가요?
밴쿠버 팀 잘하는 팀이라고 생각하는데 이 잘한 팀에는 항상 잘한 팀이 있듯이 저희가 더 잘한다고 생각해서 걱정이 없는 것 같아요.
I mean, I do think that Vancouver is a really good team, but you know, if there's a good team, there's always teams that are better, and that is the Gladiators. All right, Yaki, thank you so much for the interview. Big congratulations on the win. 자, 승리 축하드리면서 보내드리도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you for cheering for us.
Thank you so much, Yaki.
There you go.
He's working on his English.
I know.
If he-
Flawless.
Next time, I'm just gonna have Yaki.
Yeah,
I'm just doing it in English. I want Korean players that know how to speak English to do it in English.
So many of these players, I swear, like their English is pretty good, and they're just a little bit shy. I think when it comes, and I understand, right? To do a foreign language on camera, everyone's watching you, but like in person, a lot of them, you know, they're pretty good. It's pretty impressive, honestly.
I mean, honestly, by like week 6 or something, he's gonna force them doing it in English.
You know what? I
Anyway,
think
he does
one
that
of these
every
days,
season. You just bully them into an English interview.
At the very probably like the last stage, like when it comes to almost when it's like grand finals, I'm just not gonna do it in Korean. I'm just gonna ask everyone in English, and if they can't answer it, then I'll put it in Korean.
Yeah, I think a lot of players, they would be able to do better than they think. I think a lot of players don't just doubt themselves.
A lot of them are really good. Yeah.
It's the confidence. Where's the
Yeah,
confidence? Because they are just so capable of doing it. Anyway, it's always great to hear from them. Of course, also very interesting to be able to pick their brains a little bit about the matches we've seen. Interesting to hear about the communication there, as you said. He just wants to improve on his English, and once the communication is on point, he's gonna see the Gladiators going all the way. And speaking of all the way, we got more Overwatch competitive action for everyone watching. One of them, of course, being the Calling All Heroes Minor 1, which is starting today. So check out callingallheroes.gg for more information on that beautiful program and on the tournament. Lots to see, lots to cheer for as well. And we now also have a second match of the day to discuss. We're going to get into that in just a second. Let's first take a look at our schedule to know exactly where we are at. The San Francisco Shock will face off against the Houston Outlaws in our second match of the day. And San Francisco Shock, of course, we discussed it at great length already, that they're a team we're a little worried about. We want them to, just nail it down to one tag. And Johnny did not want to see Max. He wanted to see John in, but Max is going to start out on control. Maybe that's just Max is their control guy.
Well, they'll flip a coin later from map 2.
Or maybe they do that. We'll see about that. However, of course, Houston Outlaws, they're definitely the favorite heading into that. What makes that team so strong right now?
I think it's a top to bottom roster thing, right? I mean, it's also a Winston meta, so Fearless is able to leverage it a lot. But we've seen him also have success on the Ramatra. They have the flexibility. But I think really, especially outside of the tank role, you're looking at incredible flexibility. I think Happy and Pelican can play absolutely any DPS duo I can imagine, and I think it's very clear to them too, sort of what role makes the most sense and what flexes make the most sense. And Violet and Shu, again, another great duo that can make it work on anything. So I feel like whatever comp Houston needs a field, they're going to be confident on it. And Shock, I don't know that we've seen anything resembling confidence from them yet.
Actually, you in the post show yesterday already alluded in your best of the day that you're specifically looking out for Violet having a great old time in this match. Jonathan, I want you to talk us through the backline comparison here for both of those teams.
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, the big storyline of this match is Violet going up against his former team, the team he won 2 Overwatch League titles with in 2019 and 2020, and now he's playing against Vindime, who last year, people were actually legitimately talking about Vindime as like a Rookie of the Year candidate after Proper in that role. You're taking a look at the stats as Brigitte in the Spring Qualifier so far. Violet just has the upper hand. 10% more healing, 8,800 compared to Vindime's 8,000. And you can see that it dies a little bit less more. So obviously it's Brigitte, so you're not going to see like huge discrepancies when it comes to the stats. But you can tell that Violet has more impact. Now, playing against your former team, I know that when I used to play professionally, there is no way in hell I'm letting my former teammates beat me in a matchup like this. And I think for Violet especially, considering how everyone hyped up the San Francisco Shock, so much young talent on this roster. You got a young player in Vindime coming in for his second year in the league now, replacing Violet. Violet, he wants to make sure to get this win clean against the San Francisco Shock today. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I like when Violet goes Joker mode. When FG got Ajax in the match, I've never seen Violet smile like that before. So I think he's looking for the same thing. Frankly, there could be some bad blood here. I mean, with all the success Violet had on the Shock, for them to let a player like that go, I think he's going to make them regret it.
Well, let's hope so. Definitely keep eyes on the player cams for this one. And a little earlier, actually, today, we asked the chat if they think that the Shock can or will make it to the knockout stage. And there's a lot of Shock believers, despite their rocky start into the season. We do have, 54% of our fans do think that they're actually going to make the knockout stage. You're like...
I mean, look, they're not Vegas, they're not Valiant, they're not London. So yes.
That is factually correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the competition, really, right? It's
Come on now.
I mean, Shock already beat New York, so like, you know, they've got a little bit of a cushion, but that's not a high bar to clear, right? Like, just barely limping into the knockouts, you don't feel good as a San Francisco Shock. You want to be contending for the title, and they definitely aren't yet.
Yeah, well, one team that definitely is the Houston Outlaws, and that's why it was a pretty easy prediction for me to make. I think this is going to be a clean 3-0. Outlaws are just looking way very stronger.
Same. I mean, there's not much to say. I think I went with Houston Outlaws 3-0. I honestly want to see Violet doing a tactical crouch on.
Yes. At least 2.
I need a best of the day.
At least 2.
Violet, I know you got me. Make that one. Make my wish come true.
At least 2. Come on.
2, not 1, but 2 tactical
least.
crouches.
I think they're going to be playing hard for the win. I think Houston, they know the Shock has strong pieces, even though they haven't come together yet. I want to see Houston respecting the Shock as an opponent and beating them down 3-0 and just not giving them any quarter.
3-0. Ruthless. Brutal. I want it to be bloody.
I like all these adjectives. I'm with this guy.
Right on. Okay, so we're predicting very clearly in favor of the Houston Outlaws, but 54% out there think that Shock, you know, is going to make it to the knockout.
Oh, okay.
Let's see who's going to pick him for this game, though. How much?
There's no way.
I mean, come on now.
The suspense is killing me.
Wow!
11%?
No way!
Okay.
Oh, really?
Shock has some diehards out there. I respect Shock for having There's diehards out there.
11%? Okay.
I mean, people are waiting for Shock's big break. I just think Houston has looked like the second best team, right? They lost to Atlanta, but no one else has looked close to Atlanta other than Houston. And Shock has looked just incredibly lackluster. I don't see this being close.
Yeah, I mean, they're most likely going to be punching upward. Let's see if they can make some magic happen. And speaking of magic, we do have 2 absolute wizards of the words with us for this match. It is, of course,
one.
Mitch and Matt. At least one.
What?
Because Matt is there too.
Hold on.
I don't know. Hey, hold on. Let me stick up for Mitch. Mitch is a wizard of the words. He's all right.
He's got. I'd pay him. I don't know.
Mitch?
I'm going to reserve them for now. I don't know if you deserve my Wordcraft. We were going to ask for this.